If you have decided to craft along with us and follow our Easy Journal Maker series, one thing that you will definitely need is a blank journal. Now, we'll have a number of them in different styles available in our shop for purchase, but if you'd like to make your own, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to do that. Now, I'm not going to show you the binding because there are countless really good tutorials on how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which is our most common binding style, and it's not difficult at all. But again, there are lots of great tutorials. I'll put some in the description box below. This one's already bound, but I wanted to show you what some of the materials are that you would have, most of you would have somewhat readily available, especially if you have any thrift stores in your area. So let me go just flip through here and show you what we used for our blank pages, and then we will be taking these and building on them. We'll build on these, we'll build on others. We have a number of them that we can use to show you different ideas and techniques, but we'll be using these to build on and make pretty journals, pretty junk journals. So let me show you what's in here. So the cover is just half of a manila file folder that I just rough ripped. I like the rough look. I like journals that are imperfect. You can do yours to whatever level of perfection you're comfortable with, but I kind of like them a little messy on myself. It's kind of part of the fun, is not being too uptight, not being, not measuring everything, and just, I use this as, Reese and I both use this as a way to relax, and we hope that you will too. So the cover is, like I said, it's a manila file folder that was torn in half and then folded in half, and we'll decorate that. Then inside, we had, and this may not be as readily available, but we had some 8.5 by 11 scrapbook paper. It actually probably would be easier for you to find 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, or even 6 by 6. Or, I mean, if you don't want to use scrapbook paper, none of this is necessary. I just want to show you what some of your options are, some things that you could use, some things that we have on hand that would be, again, easily sourced for you. So scrapbook paper, and if it's too big, tear it down so it's the right size. Not a problem. Or if it's too small, that's fine. It's small, different sizes in your journal. That's a very attractive look, so that's fine too. So so we have some scrapbook paper. We have some cardstock that we actually tea dyed, so it's a little aged, it's a little distressed. I like that look. We'll be talking more about tea dyeing. It's another thing that I could actually just give you some links to videos. Very easy to do, and it adds a really nice look to papers. Kind of grunges them up, and I love that look. So cardstock. This was a book, a gardening book, some pages from a vintage gardening book that we got at a thrift store. Another possibility that we didn't include in these, but I could have, would be encyclopedia pages. They're plentiful at thrift stores, and one volume of an encyclopedia will go a long way for the crafting that we like to do. So if you get a chance and you get to a thrift store, look for that. Pick one up. So there's the gardening book page. Here we have, and it's got something on it, and so, but we'll be covering it up. It's no big deal. It's a Rite Aid bag. It's just, I actually have in my stash of things to use for crafting, I have McDonald's bags. If they don't have too much, if they don't smell too much like French fries, and even if they do, you could spray it with perfume or something, or just use them as is. Who cares, right, Reese? I like to save those bags. a lot of things that are paper, and especially things that are paper, pretty, and or the right size, I hang on to them. They're good for this, and that's the perfect thing for a junk journal. You want to recycle and reuse as much as possible. That's kind of for this style of journal, that's kind of the point. So we've got a Rite Aid bag. I've got another scrapbook page. This is the front of a travel magazine. This one's for Illinois. And I thought that was pretty. So, you know, I stuck that in there. This was the cover. Reese used one of the inside pages with really pretty oranges and browns and their fall foliage. So, but that's something that is pretty easy to pick up. You can actually request them from various states. I did some email requests from several states asking for their travel brochures and maps, and I now have a box load of them. So you may not necessarily want to have as many as we have, but you know, maybe pick one up from your local visitor center and use that for your junk journal. Very pretty. And like this, where it has words, if you like the words, leave them. If you don't like the words, we can cover it up, and we probably will. Another thing that we found that's fairly easy to find in thrift stores and church. This one was actually, I think, from a church bazaar. Is a nice big format sheet music or music book. So I folded that in half. It was the perfect size to fold in half and put in here. This is just a page of copy paper that we tea dyed, and again, we'll talk more about that. I love the look of tea dyed paper. We're going to have some available in our shop, like a 6-pack that won't be very expensive. Or again, you can make your own. All of this, you know, all of these things are things you can make your own, but we will also have things available in our shop for you that will be shortcuts, things that are pre-made, just to make it as easy as possible for you. So there's a piece of tea dyed paper. Here's another piece of tea dyed cardstock. And again, I wanted to point out, you can use different weights of papers. Now, if it's really brittle, like a really antique page, or it's really thin, it might not hold up quite as well, but you can include them and just, you know, have them in there for decoration. And I mean, the more vintage, the more antique, the better, in my opinion. So different weights of paper are fine. So here's another scrapbook page. Here's something that is super easy to find in the dollar store, thrift stores, probably even garage sales. I don't know. Coloring book pages, like the adult coloring book pages. It's a pretty thing to include in there. So there we are at the middle. Of course, the other side is just the other side. Oh, I did want to point out that the Rite Aid bag, it was longer than the width that we wanted for our journal. So we just left it that length, and we'll fold it in so it fits. And we'll make use of that flip, that flap. So there it is. Very, very simple, very basic, but a really nice foundation for some relaxing creativity and things that we will do, and things that we will share with you. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to message us. And thank you very much from Lovely Villain Designs.